Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Major and this is a Let's Play in the legendary tier British rental battleship HMS Conqueror, available for this patch only for rental price of 1,250 icebreaker coins. Now Let's Play is basically where I play the ship and explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. So spawn in centre, and being we only have one battleship on our left flank, I'm going to forward over into the left flank and see if I can support with the Chai objective. Now from the shipping forecast, it's a game of domination on Sea of Fortune. On the enemy team we have a Yudachi, Megami, Wichita, Alaska, Jean Bar, Yamato, Grosser Kurfürst, Conqueror. So the enemy does have the destroyer advantage, so obviously that is something that I need to be aware of. As soon as that Yudachi does get spotted, it's something I will wish to target straight away. So Conqueror, she is a what if, a British battleship. Basically, she's a what if the British built a battleship post World War II and had learnt from all their lessons from World War II. So she looks very much like Monarch, I guess you could say, with the lattice turrets, but at the same time looks very much like a Vanguard in regards to turret layout, bridge, a couple of things like that. Amusingly, she does come with 12 slightly above 16-inch guns in full triple turrets, 2 aft, 2 forward. Opening fire with the opening volley of high explosive against the Grosser Kurfürst. I could potentially maybe consider swapping to AP, but it was very much a snapshot of it before he got round behind the island. So as we start to close on to the Chai objective, I should let you know that the modules are down in the description. But Conqueror is very interesting because she's the first ever battleship in which you can take concealment systems in her third slot. So you get the choice between concealment systems and target acquisition systems. Now target acquisition systems is nice because it does improve the range of guaranteed acquisition, which means that you can pick up enemy ships at 3 kilometers. Useful if you're expecting destroyers to come around corners or things like that at you. However, with a legendary tier battleship being well, having a very large detectability, being able to reduce that is actually quite nice, because that does give you a bit of maneuverability between your maximum gun range and your concealment range. That means you can sometimes, well, if at certain ranges, when you're dueling it off, I guess you could say, you can go undetected between volleys. So Conqueror, I like to play her very much like I play most British battleships, in a very kitey fashion, very similar to Monarch, Vanguard, King George V, and Warspite and Queen Elizabeth, kite it in, kite it out. So that's one of the reasons why I like to then go for the steering gears, which does reduce the rudder shift by 20%, and obviously she is actually quite an agile battleship off the bat anyway, especially in comparison to the Grosser Kurfürst and the Yamato. Now, as you've seen so far this game, I have just focused on using HE, and I've managed to get 5 fires so far, which is quite nice. So yes, she does have superior HE penetration. She also is classified as a pyromania. She does have a very high fire chance, somewhere in the high 40s. I don't think my commander build has affected it in any way, so I think if I say 48% I should be correct. However, do beg my pardon if that is incorrect. Right, so I've been pushed quite far out, obviously kiting away from the Grosser Kurfürst. However, it's now time to start kiting in against the Jean Bar. Looking at the minimap, we are noting that the Yudachi has been spotted in the Alpha objective, which is good news for us, because that means we're not going to get torpedoed out over here. So when it comes to the armour of the Conqueror, it seems quite sufficient. The only issue I seem to have is when I come up against Yamatos, of which there are, I believe, was it 2 on the enemy team? Yeah, so we have 2 Yamatos on the enemy team, so we have 2 problem boats, I guess you could say. There's the Jean Bar, so she's reversing away, doing what French battleships do, and so we're just going to focus on that HE, see if we can get a couple of fires started. Probably going to have to close in a little bit more. Oh, we have a cruiser spotted, and it's the Alaska, which has 12-inch guns. Now we should be okay as long as we don't give her our broadside. Now when it comes to the consumables, obviously you've got enhanced secondary battery. That's pretty much all you're going to get. There's no aircraft, there's no sonar, there's no other tricks like that. And then you have repair parties. Now you do come with only 2 base, and I've managed to get 2 more thanks to my commander build, going for a master mechanic build. And it's worth noting that each repair party will heal 25,000 HP. You're basically looking at about 1,289, I think, HP per second for 20 seconds. So it's very much a monster heal. So what you're looking for is about 5 bars of HP down there when it comes to knocking that heal. We do have that Alaska on fire, and he is just kiting away, so I'm going to predict that maybe he's going to turn a little bit more. Let's see if we can find our mark with our HE here. So far I haven't used a single volley of AP, which I find quite amusing. Oh, there she goes. Because the AP is not... it's still useful. It's one of the reasons why when you see my commander build down in the description, you'll note that I do have on second thought as one of my traits. The reason being is that ability to be able to pick the correct type of ammunition with that little bit of a penalty of less than half reload time is actually quite a nice ability. I'm seeing that the Jean Bar's pushing in, so I'm kind of expecting that he's going to basically try and mitigate himself from the Yamato. Friendly Roma has, I suspect, maybe broken off, gone and got a couple of heals in before he comes back and starts re-engaging. Also worth noting that the enemy Udachi is now gone, which is good news for us. What is the Jean Bar doing? Is he gonna go to his left and towards our Yamato, or go to his right and towards this cruiser? Very hard to work out, but we should be alright. So, on top of being agile, she does seem to have a reasonable speed, with a common battle booster flag, which does improve my speed a little bit. I am looking at approximately just in excess of 30 knots, which is quite nice. It's about, I think it's 30.2. This is where swapping to AP might be advantageous. Obviously, okay, realising that the Yamato is obviously looking over in this direction. Okay, we'll just go for the turrets and see what we can do. 2 bounces and 2 pens. Thankfully, the Jean Bar fluffing his volley, and so allowing us to get angled. Obviously we switched back to HE because the Jean Bar did turn in against us very violently. Our armour holding up quite nicely. I don't think she's got a main battery reload booster active, so we are just going to smash a load of HE in there and get a fire, and quickly get it tucked back in again, get ourselves angled. But always at the same time, you've got to be cautious of your transom stern. You've got to remember that your stern isn't pointy and it is actually quite flat, so if he does stick a load of AP into my transom stern, there's potentially, if I'm perfectly lined up, he can actually get it into my citadel. Again, nope, there's an island somewhere. Oh, we should be alright. Hope. Now it's time to use that heal. And the Jean Bar should probably get polished off by the Roma. Very nice. Right, gonna have to start turning into the rest of the map. Now we weren't able to completely effectively use that repair party because it wasn't completely 25,000. However, I've got 4 of them. Potentially I'm not going to be able to use all 4, especially considering how much they do heal. So it's kind of like whenever there's just a big chunk of HP in there to actually repair off, it's worth going for it. The secondary battery modification, I think I have equipped, which improves the rate of fire of them, and plus the enhanced secondary consumable actually did get us 28 secondary hits, which is quite nice. So we're now in this situation where it's the long, slow travel Let's see what we got in the enemy team. So we'll still have those two Yamatos. Also have the Conqueror, Wichita, and Megami. Yamato's just starting to come into range, and potentially I might not be spotted if I put fire on him once he's in range. Which is a tempting target as it is. We're in a better position to probably get some damage on this Yamato. Might even actually slow it down here, take advantage of not being detected, I think. Especially against a Yamato. Although it looks like the Yamato is actually having second thoughts about coming forward, so I am going to keep actually pushing up and try and keep him in range, especially if he starts reversing up. Okay, so we know that the battleship that was last spotted in Alpha is actually a Yamato as well. Volley of HE out. There we are, 2 fires. I'm quite happy with that. And he is still burning. I think we will push a little bit more. The reason being is I suspect that this iron's gonna... This is where it would be nice to have that ability to have that spotter aircraft go up and give us a slightly better view, but we're just going to have to wait until we can see. There we go, now we can see. And now we've been spotted too. But here's hoping our HE can actually only did a light tickle, but we have just got ourselves a Witherer, which is quite nice. She is still burning up. Our friendly Yamato finishes the job. Wichita, notoriously difficult to citadel. And I am noting that I do have a Conqueror on my right. Conqueror is now blocked by an island. Wichita's too fast, too manoeuvrable. I should probably dodge this, but we'll fire it out and see what happens. Yeah, she slowed down. So just angling it in, just to make sure that I stay locked off quite nicely from the angles. Ooh. Enemy Yamato polishes off our Yamato. I think I might switch to AP. Because we have this situation here. What we really want is to try and get it inside the cheeks of the Yamato if we can. Try not to cut the roamer off. Four bounces there, unfortunately. Might as well get our secondary battery modification going. Looks like the Yamato knows what I'm trying to do. No, unfortunately not. I think we might just go for the slow-mo tap. Or we might just see if we can get away with it. Citadel are in the rear, getting ourselves high caliber. Can we just get a kill? I think, and unfortunately that's the end of the game, and the enemy team won. Although citadeling the Yamato in the rear was actually quite enjoyable at the end there. Getting first blood with a high caliber, 176,000 damage, only 75 hits on target, 12 fires, 1 citadel, 1 kill, 60 secondary hits, which is quite nice. Second of the team, quite happy with that. One thing you usually notice with legendary tier ships is sometimes it's difficult to do well in them, at least, well, personally, I usually find that I'd say like 60% of the time I do average to not that well, to that 40% time where I do actually have a nice game. Although I have been having some nice games in the Conqueror, but actually having an enjoyable game where I can actually enjoy the game which I commentate, which I can share with you. I have found a little bit of a struggle. Some of them have been a little bit boring. It's the best way to put it. It's like stuff's happening but nothing exciting, and making 84,000 credits with premium and epic credit booster, because that ship service cost of 260,000 credits in this case, very expensive if you want to play legendary tier, unfortunately. However, I'm quite happy with that defeat, I have to say. Well, if you have enjoyed it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, let's say thank you very much. Down in the description is the modules, the command build, the email address of the channel if you want to send in any of your own personal game captures for our Community Monday Spotlight video, and also the link to Patreon if you want to support the channel on Patreon, as it is a non-monetized channel. Until next time, I'm the Galloping Major, and back to the port.